Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air, just in the images of the U.S. airstrikes, retaliation for attacks on U.S. targets. Also here in the U.S. envelope, some with fentanyl sent to multiple elections offices. And 2 sheriff's deputies ambushed, both in the hospital tonight. First this evening, the images coming in, those retaliatory airstrikes from the U.S. after multiple attacks targeting U.S. troops in Iraq and Syria. Also tonight, sources now telling ABC News American and Israeli spy chiefs are now conducting high-level negotiations in Qatar, hoping to free hostages, including Americans held by Hamas in Pannell in Israel. Tonight, those envelopes, some with fentanyl in them, sent to elections offices across this country. Investigative reporter Aaron Katersky on what we know. Tonight, the passenger jet taking off from London, bound for the U.S., taking off in flight before they realized parts of some windows, the panes, were missing. The disturbing surveillance tonight, 2 deputies ambushed while responding to a 911 call. A suspect allegedly targeting the deputies, intentionally running them down with his car, according to authorities tonight. The centrist Democrat Senator Joe Manchin saying he will not run for re-election. So will he run for president as a third-party candidate? Mary Bruce reporting. The young college freshman from New Jersey hit by a stray bullet in Nashville. We have learned tonight she has now died. Outside New York City tonight, the urgent manhunt and the new wanted poster just issued tonight, and the reward after a man wanted in the January 6th attack ran from authorities into the woods. A remarkable medical feat tonight, the electrical worker coming into contact with a live wire, losing part of his face and his left eye, receiving the first ever whole eye and partial face transplant. And the first penguin born in the U.S. in more than a decade, and you've decided tonight the baby penguin's new name.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Thursday night. The FBI investigating these threatening letters sent to multiple states, some with fentanyl inside. Also, those 2 sheriff's deputies ambushed and hit by a driver. But we do begin tonight with the new images just in here. The U.S. retaliatory airstrikes on Iranian-backed forces in Syria in the past 24 hours. The Pentagon releasing video just a short time ago after strikes from F-15s targeted a weapons storage facility in Syria. The Pentagon saying in response to those Iranian-backed forces targeting American troops in Iraq and Syria for weeks since the Israel-Hamas war began. It all comes tonight amid urgent negotiations for the release of the hostages held by Hamas, including, of course, Americans. Sources now telling ABC News the U.S. and Israeli spy chiefs are conducting high-level talks in Qatar. And tonight here we also have new images emerging of 2 of the hostages. ABC's chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell leading us off tonight in Israel.
Tonight, dramatic new video showing the moment the U.S. unleashed retaliatory airstrikes on what it says are Iranian-backed forces in Syria. The Pentagon saying it hit a weapons storage facility used in attacks on American troops in Iraq and Syria. This was the second such strike, coming after at least 46 drone and rocket attacks on U.S. forces since mid-October, including 4 more in the past 24 hours. Most were intercepted and no serious injuries were reported. Also tonight, American and Israeli spy chiefs conducting high-level negotiations to free more of the 239 hostages, including Americans, held in Gaza. A U.S. official confirming to ABC News that CIA Director Burns took part in a meeting in Doha today with the head of Israel's Mossad and the Qatari Prime Minister regarding a potential deal. And today, the White House claiming Israel's agreed to expand daily 4-hour combat pauses in northern Gaza to let more civilians flee. President Biden asked if he wanted more from Israel.
Did you ask for a 3-day pause to Netanyahu for that?
Yes. I've asked for even a longer pause for some of them.
Are you frustrated with Prime Minister Netanyahu that he has not listened more to some of the things you have asked him to do?
It's taken a little longer than I hoped.
With more Gazans fleeing the bombing through humanitarian corridors, some families finally reunited. Today, our team was with Rami Massoud, who saw his wife and sons for the first time in nearly 3 weeks. His wife recounting a terrifying journey on foot, seeing dead people on the ground, bullets flying over the heads of her and her children. And tonight, haunting new images of 2 of the Israeli hostages held inside Gaza. Palestinian Islamic Jihad releasing a video of 77-year-old Hannah Katzir and 12-year-old Yagil Yaakov. ABC News isn't showing it, but the families agreed to us using these images. They were both kidnapped from kibbutz near Oz. Yagil hid in a safe room with his older brother Or, their father and his partner. They tried in vain to hold the door closed, but the terrorists burst in. The last thing his mother heard her son say was, "Don't take me, I'm too young."
They're not bargain chips, they're children. Children anywhere in the world are not supposed to be part of this. Not in Gaza, nor in Israel, nor in Ukraine, nowhere in the world.
We already buried them.
We were back in kibbutz near Oz today with Ron Bahat, one of the surviving members. He showed us home after home of residents killed or captured, including that of Hannah Katzir, who appeared in that video today.
They murdered Rami in the house and took Hannah. She's missing.
At the end of the video today, Hannah sends her love to her husband Rami. She still doesn't know yet that he was killed by the terrorists that day.
So let's bring in Ian Pannell, our chief foreign correspondent, back with us again tonight. Ian, as you know, we've been reporting here these U.S. retaliatory strikes, the second round of strikes on Iranian-backed forces in Syria. And of course, all this comes amid increasing tensions across the region that you've been reporting on, the concerns that this conflict could grow.
Yeah, that's right. A second round of retaliatory strikes involving two F-15 fighter jets. They struck the target, but because they say it was a weapons storage depot, there was a secondary explosion. The Pentagon, though, saying there have been 4 more attacks since then. That makes 46 attacks in under 3 weeks. Only last night, a senior defense official was saying that this latest airstrike was supposed to be a message to Iran to tell its proxy groups to stop attacking US forces. Well, it seems either they didn't hear the warning or they didn't heed it, with the obvious risk, as you say, that this could escalate. David?
Concerning indeed. Ian Pannell leading us off tonight. Ian, thank you. Back here in the U.S. tonight, the FBI is now investigating threatening letters sent to election offices in at least 5 states and what officials are calling domestic terrorism tonight. Some of the envelopes containing fentanyl. Here's our senior investigative reporter, Aaron Katersky now.
Tonight, just days after Americans cast their votes, the FBI is investigating threatening letters that were sent to election facilities in 5 states where those ballots are counted. At least 4 of those letters testing positive for fentanyl.
This is a form of domestic terrorism. That's all that it is. And unfortunately, what they're doing is putting innocent people at risk and disrupting our elections.
The letters were sent to California, Georgia, Nevada, Oregon, and Washington state, where 4 election offices were evacuated.
As I sat down for my own batch to open up, the fire alarm went off. Immediately, we knew that something was going on.
First responders near Seattle said preliminary tests showed the presence of fentanyl. In Tacoma, police finding a letter containing baking soda and a message advising it was meant to end elections now. In Georgia, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger was alerted to a letter heading to Fulton County.
Well, we don't know what's in it. We just have to assume the worst and be prepared for that.
Raffensperger's concerned that envelope could also contain fentanyl, just a tiny amount. What can fit on the tip of a pen could be fatal. They've now equipped Fulton County officials with Narcan.
Some people like to call fentanyl a drug, but it's actually poison. It'll kill you. It'll kill you very quickly, very easily.
Threats to election workers have become more frequent in recent years, prompting a troubling exodus from their ranks after the 2020 presidential election. Tonight, David, investigators are linking the letters from Washington state with the one on its way to Georgia. Suspicious mail also turned up in Nevada and in Lane County, Oregon, where they had to pause ballot counting. In California, the Postal Service says it intercepted 2 suspicious envelopes before they reached election offices. David?
Our investigative reporter, Aaron Katersky, tonight. Aaron, thank you. We turn now to the passenger jet taking off from London, bound for the U.S., taking off and in flight before they apparently realized parts of some of the windows, the panes, were missing. ABC's Gio Benitez covers aviation for us.
Tonight, we're learning that a charter flight from London to Orlando was forced to turn around after the crew realized 4 of its windows were damaged. The Titan Airways plane taking off on October 4th from Stansted Airport with 20 crew members and passengers on board. A report by the UK's Air Accident Investigation Branch saying after takeoff, a crew member noticed that the seal on one of the windows was flapping in the airflow and window pane appeared to have slipped down. That crew member describing the noise in the cabin as loud enough to damage your hearing. The problem wasn't discovered until the plane was 14,000 feet in the air, but the cabin was never depressurized. According to UK investigators, the windows were damaged by high-powered lights used during a film shoot the day before. And David, the plane landed safely back in London 36 minutes after it took off. Now investigators are trying to figure out exactly what happened here to make sure it never happens again. David.
36 unsettling minutes in that flight, Gio. Thank you. We turn now to the disturbing images tonight. 2 sheriff's deputies critically injured after responding to a call from a mother about her son who was suffering a mental health crisis. Surveillance and body camera video showing what happened after they responded. Authorities say that son taking off and then hitting them with his car. Both deputies were rushed to the hospital. ABC's Victor Oquendo in Florida with the images tonight, and we warn you, they are difficult.
Tonight, 2 Florida deputies are fighting for their lives after what authorities say was an ambush.
These deputies never had a chance. They didn't have a chance to get out of the way. They didn't have a chance to do anything.
Authorities in Hillsborough County say they were responding to a 911 call this morning from a woman saying her adult son was acting irrationally and being violent.
He was kicking in doors throughout the house, and she was in fear for her life.
When they arrived, the man was inside this silver sedan. When they try to engage, he backs up and takes off. Moments later, surveillance footage shows him then speeding right at the deputies.
He's accelerating at such a high rate of speed, and he strikes both of them,
ramming 39-year-old Corporal Carlos Brito and 31-year-old Deputy Manuel Santos.
Corporal Carlos Brito has suffered the most serious of injuries between the 2 deputies. His leg may be amputated.
Get out the vehicle right now!
The suspect coming out of the vehicle, walking toward other officers, who then use a taser, taking him down. Both deputies were airlifted to the hospital for surgery. They're in serious condition. The suspect, who has a history of violence against law enforcement, is now facing attempted murder charges. David?
Victor Oquendo in Florida tonight. Thank you, Victor. Tonight, police in Nashville are now saying that a young college student from New Jersey who was shot in broad daylight by a stray bullet has now died. The Belmont University freshman was struck while walking in a park. Authorities say the suspect has a history of mental illness and had just been released in May. Here's ABC's Faith Abube.
Tonight, family and friends of New Jersey native Jillian Ludwig heartbroken. The college freshman struck in the head by a stray bullet has succumbed to her injuries after the shooting at a Nashville public park Tuesday. Authorities now considering elevating the aggravated assault charges against the shooting suspect, 29-year-old Shaquille Taylor. Police say he was aiming his gun at a nearby vehicle when he allegedly fired the weapon from across the street, hitting 18-year-old Ludwig, who was walking on a track. Authorities say the shooting suspect was charged with aggravated assault back in April, but state law allowed him to be released after 3 court-appointed doctors testified that he was incompetent to stand trial. The DA now asking the state legislature to change that law. Ludwig was a student at Belmont University. In a statement, the university president describing her as an engaged community member who loved music.
And David, the suspect in this case was supposed to appear in court today on unrelated car theft charges. But once the victim died from her injuries, that court appearance was waived as authorities discuss upgrading those charges. David?
All right, Faith Abube reporting. Thank you, Faith. Tonight, the centrist senator from West Virginia, Democrat Joe Manchin, says he will not run for re-election. So the question tonight, will he run for president? He's not ruling it out. Here's Mary Bruce.
Tonight, a political bombshell from Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, the conservative Democrat announcing he will not run for re-election in the deep red state.
I believe in my heart of hearts that I've accomplished what I set out to do for West Virginia.
The move has huge implications for Democrats' ability to hold on to the Senate and possibly the White House. Manchin today clearly leaving the door open for a third-party presidential run.
What I will be doing is traveling the country and speaking out to see if there is an interest in creating a movement to mobilize the middle and bring Americans together.
Manchin is affiliated with a group called No Labels that is exploring a centrist unity ticket in 2024. They are already on the presidential ballot in 12 states, including several key battlegrounds. But Democrats warn they could play spoiler, taking votes away from President Biden and benefiting Donald Trump. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has called No Labels perilous to democracy. Biden has called their efforts a mistake. The president today with auto workers in Illinois, taking a victory lap after they won a new contract. Biden reminding those workers he joined them on the picket line, the first president in history to do so, and Donald Trump did not.
And here's the difference. When you're in the middle of a fight, I stood and others stood with you shoulder to shoulder on that picket line. Yeah. My predecessor went to a non-union shop and attacked you.
Yes, he did! Yes, he did!
I hope you guys have a memory. Where I come from, it matters.
So let's bring in our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, live at the White House tonight. Mary, this group, No Labels, says they're going to announce in the coming months, early next year, if they plan to move forward with a third-party presidential ticket.
David, that is their announcement plan, and they say they have a strategy to be on the ballot in all 50 states by Election Day. Tonight, the group is commending Senator Manchin, calling him a longtime ally of their movement. David.
Mary Bruce with us. Thank you, Mary. Tonight, Hollywood finally getting back to business after the Actors Union reached a deal to end its historic 118-day strike. SAG-AFTRA celebrating what they're calling a, quote, groundbreaking new 3-year deal with studios, with higher minimum wages, bonuses for streaming, and the first ever protections for actors when it comes to artificial intelligence. The 160,000 members must still vote on this, but the union tonight saying they can get back to work. When we come back here, the urgent manhunt outside New York City, the new wanted poster just issued, and the reward tonight. Also, the electrical worker coming into contact with a live wire, losing his left eye and part of his face, and what doctors have been able to do. It's extraordinary. Tonight, new developments in the manhunt for a January 6th suspect on the run from police in New Jersey. The FBI issuing a new wanted poster for Gregory Yetman, accused of assaulting officers during the attack on the Capitol. Authorities say he ran from his home into the woods as police arrived to arrest him. The FBI now offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to his capture. A remarkable medical breakthrough. The first patient receiving a whole eye and partial face transplant at NYU Langone Health here in New York City. Aaron James was severely injured when his face touched a live wire 2 years ago. He lost his left eye, left cheek, his nose, lips, and chin. His surgeon calling the procedure uncharted territory. It's unclear if he'll be able to see with the new eye. He can still see with the other one. When he walks past the mirror, he said he can't stop without looking at his new face. An incredible feat indeed. When we come back here, the actor seen scaling the outside of the Empire State Building here in New York, making it up to the 104th floor. The images are quite something. To the index of other news, and tourists here in New York City got quite a sight at the top of the Empire State Building. Actor Jared Leto scaling the famous landmark, climbing from the 86th floor to the 104th, nearly 1,300 feet above the ground. The climb was to announce his new concert tour. The first person, by the way, to ever legally climb to the top of the Empire State Building. Singer Luke Combs winning Single of the Year at the Country Music Awards for a song you'll remember, written more than 3 decades ago now by Tracy Chapman, Fast Car.
You got a fast car, and I want to take it to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal.
Grammy winner Tracy Chapman congratulating Combs, and she's also now the first black songwriter to win Song of the Year at the CMAs. Combs thanking her for writing what he calls one of the best songs of all time. He says it's been his favorite song since he was just 4 years old. When we come back here tonight, the first penguin born in the U.S. in more than a decade. And tonight, many of you weighing in, the new name unveiled in just a moment here. Finally tonight here, America Strong, the baby emperor penguin born here in the U.S., finally with a new name. It was something so rare it hasn't happened in more than a decade here in the U.S. An endangered emperor penguin born here. We first introduced you to her 2 weeks ago right here. The veterinary team at SeaWorld San Diego providing around-the-clock care, hand-feeding her, helping her break out of her shell after discovering she couldn't on her own, helping her safely hatch. That team inviting everyone at home to help name her. And tonight, they would like to officially introduce her.
Hi, David.
Justin Brackett, the curator of birds at SeaWorld in San Diego, tells us tens of thousands of you weighed in.
We're really excited to announce we have a name. This is Pearl. This is actually one of her first days out on the ice amongst all of the other penguins, and you can see just how excited she is to be around the other birds, to get to talk to other emperor penguins for the first time.
Pearl is now 8 weeks old, getting bigger every day, walking, getting acclimated to new lower temperatures. And her care team hopes Pearl will soon be healthy enough to join the nearly 300 penguins, including 17 other emperor penguins right there in San Diego. And starting today, visitors will now be able to see Pearl in person.
We're pleased to announce the really exciting opportunity. We hope you guys come out to see us soon.
Pearl the penguin, she's looking good and doing well, and we love seeing that today. I'm David Muir. Thank you for watching. From all of us here, have a good evening. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.